Coronavirus, COVID-19, is a tiny, tiny little microbe that's causing big, big problems. But there are things that you can do to protect yourself. Likely, you're still going to be going about your life, doing work, maybe even traveling, dealing with people. Managing your mind is going to be an important part of that, obviously. But there are also some things that you can do to protect yourself. Simple practices. Call them new habits. One of these habits is the habit of managing your mind during this crisis, putting concerns about the coronavirus in proper perspective. Words like pandemic conjure images of the apocalypse, and those of us who have the problem of worry generally will be more prone to build up this fear into something that may end up limiting your behaviors and reducing your overall sense of well being. So let's put this into perspective right now. The great likelihood, statistically, is that you will be absolutely fine. The great likelihood is that you will not catch this virus. So the principles of worry management need to become habits that you build not only for this situation, but in general. They include the principles of living life in the moment, one day at a time. Though you might plan for the future, you live in the day. And to catch yourself when you go into awfulizing and catastrophizing. One of the great bits of wisdom available to humanity is the simple equation that for serenity, accept those things you can't change. Work to change those that you can. And you can't change the reality of the coronavirus any more than you can change the reality of any other event beyond your control. But you have a choice. You either accept it is what it is, or you make yourself miserable. So I invite you right now to choose to accept this virus is a fact of life. It simply is. So the question becomes, what are you going to do to protect yourself? And there are several things that have been recommended by the CDC that you can implement immediately to protect yourself. These things may not come naturally. The CDC recommends that you wash your hands for 20 seconds or more, or use hand sanitizer after potential exposure in public areas. It suggests that you keep your hands away from your eyes and face, recognizing that the average person does tend to fiddle with their face habitually. This means you have to create a new habit of keeping your hands away from your face. And also the idea of unnecessarily touching people, really the habit of shaking hands, has to be eliminated. This habit is part of what's called social distancing, and it may certainly seem odd the first time you greet somebody and choose not to shake their hands. Hopefully, you do it in a pleasant way, friendly way, but it'll probably seem strange. The habit of washing your hands frequently when you're in public for 20 seconds or more may already be something that you're doing, or it may seem a bit of a burden. On the other hand, if you're a person who has the problem of compulsive hand washing, well, this video is not for you. You should stop watching. You don't need this. For the rest of us, adding this habit may take a little effort. The other habit is not touching your face. Well, that may become a bit of a challenge because likely you aren't even aware you're doing it. So it's subconscious. So this begins by watching people in public, noticing when people touch their face in a kind of unconscious way, and make a decision consciously to change your habit. Now, these habits, like all habits, live in the subconscious mind, not your conscious mind. Changing a habit begins with a conscious decision, though, to change how you're going to be in these areas during this crisis. So before you go any further, put this on hold if you need to. Decide whether you're willing to build these new habits consistent with the CDC guidelines during this crisis, and perhaps even beyond. The habits of washing your hands frequently after public exposure, the habit of not touching your face unless your hands have just been washed, and the habit of social distance, keeping distance, and not shaking hands during this period. If you agree these habits are things you want to develop, then continue. Now, by the way, I'm not really sure whether YouTube hypnosis is real hypnosis or simply enhanced meditation. Whatever it is, though, it requires letting go of thoughts so that the change can occur in the subconscious part of your mind. So these suggestions that I make on these 3 habit areas, in accordance with CDC guidelines, as of the date of this recording, are designed to bypass your ordinary state of mind and go into your subconscious. So if these suggestions make sense to you, these new habits, all you have to do right now is just relax, watch, and listen. Obviously, you're going to want to make a conscious effort to implement these suggestions, not just to wait for your subconscious to kick in. So the purpose of this little video is to reinforce your conscious decision and to put these habits into the level of automatic behavior. So as you watch the images of the clouds, just allow yourself to drift and to dream and listen to the music and watch the clouds and take a little vacation. In fact, make a decision to do that for right now. As you watch the clouds drift by, the hard part's over, listening to me. This part is easy. Just watch the clouds and relax and allow yourself to feel a sense of peace. There's only one major instruction in hypnosis generally, and this video meditation specifically, and that is to let thoughts as they occur disappear and just listen and watch. Hypnosis or hypnotic meditations are designed to bypass your ordinary analytical conscious mind, with your permission, of course, and get into your subconscious where the habits live. When you start a new habit like driving a car, by the way, everything is conscious. That'll be the same with these 3 habits. You'll think about everything, just like when you start driving a car. Well, you pay attention to steering, to braking, the gas pedal. But after these actions become habitual, you just get into your car and drive automatically. The habits that at first were effortful become routine. And that's the same thing with these 3 habits we're talking about. And since you've made your mind up, you've already decided to do these 3 behaviors, you really don't have to think as you watch this. You can simply relax because you've already decided. That's how hypnosis works generally. Hypnotic meditation today specifically. So just relax and listen to the sound of my words. Now I could start by telling you or suggesting you're going to relax your whole body. But instead I'm going to suggest you only work on relaxing the little muscles that control your eyes. You probably noticed as you're watching the clouds that your eyes are already begun to become tired. They may have started to become a little teary. That's typical, understandable. And I'm going to ask you in a moment to close your eyes, to rest your eyes. And as you rest your eyes, to imagine relaxing the little muscles that control them, your eyelids, so thoroughly and completely that as long as you hold on to that level of relaxation, they literally don't want to function. I'm going to ask you, when you do, to try to open your eyes at that point. You might manage your eyebrows, but your eyelids themselves are just completely relaxed and stay closed. Now, close your eyes. And notice and concentrate on, imagine your eye muscles are becoming totally relaxed as you rest your eyes. Obviously, you're alone in your house somewhere. Of course, you could open them if you wanted to, but I'm asking you to imagine they're just too relaxed to function. And when you're conscious that you've achieved that, give it a little test. Prove to yourself they're just too relaxed to work. You might manage your eyebrows, but your eyelids themselves are just too relaxed to function. Let yourself become more relaxed and more at peace. And now take that quality of relaxation and bring it into the rest of your body, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Feel your breathing beginning to become slower and more rhythmical, your mind becoming more and more relaxed, but your body becoming more and more relaxed. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I reach the number 3, then I'd like you to open your eyes, watch the clouds for a little bit. Notice your eyes are heavy and tired. They really want to rest again. And then I'll say close your eyes. do, allow yourself to go twice as relaxed. So 1, 2, 3, eyes open. Just watch the clouds going by. Notice your eyes are heavy. Really want to close. Now close your eyes again. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to go 10 times more relaxed, 10 times more at peace, 10 times more receptive to the sound of the words and the suggestions you already agreed to implant as you drift and dream, changing the way you think and act and feel. Now again on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes on the count of 3. At that point, watch the clouds a little bit. Notice your eyes are even heavier. 1, 2, 3, open. Watch the clouds. Notice your eyes are heavy. You want to rest them again. Now close your eyes. Deep breath. Allow yourself to go even more relaxed, even more receptive to these changes you already decided for your safety and your protection. Now again on the count of 3. One final time. When I reach 3. Open your eyes for a moment. Notice your eyes are even heavier. Though it's difficult to keep them open, you do. You close them 1, 2, and 3. Open. Watch the clouds. Notice your eyes are heavy. They really want to rest. And now 3. And deeper and more relaxed with each and every breath, with each thought that flows through your mind like the puffy clouds through the sky. Now close your eyes. Deep breath, more relaxed, more at peace. In a moment, on the count of 3, you'll open your eyes again. This time as you open your eyes, burn in the idea that when you're in public, you wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds before you touch your face. That when you're in public, you wash your hands for 20 seconds or more, or sanitize them before you touch your face. 1, 2, 3, open. Get the idea of washing your hands when you're in public before you can touch your face. Before you touch your face in public. Get the idea frozen in, locked in. Now close your eyes, deep breath, and still picture yourself washing your hands in public for 20 seconds or more and feeling great about it. Feeling that you're doing what you can do to keep yourself healthy. Allowing yourself to drift and dream. Now, in a moment, on the count of 3, I'll ask you to open your eyes again for a moment. This time, get the idea that if you haven't washed your hands, you don't touch your face. You notice other people, if they touch their face, and you find yourself thinking, I don't do that, not going to do that. I'm going to stay healthy. 1, 2, 3. Open. Get the idea that you don't touch your face in public. If you see someone touching their face in public, it reminds you that you don't do that. Good. Now close your eyes. Deep breath. And lock that in. Lock that habit in. Your hands don't have to touch your face. You don't want them to touch your face. Very, very good. Breathe in this new habit. It's going to feel so great to know you're doing what you can do to stay healthy through this crisis. Now, in a moment, on the count of 3, I'll ask you again to open your eyes for a moment and get the idea of locking in the idea of what's called social distance. That you don't shake hands if that's your choice, if that's your decision. Get that idea. That's your new habit. That's a new way to be. 1, 2, 3. Get the idea that you are one of those people that doesn't shake hands during this crisis. It's very simple. It's going to become a new social norm anyway. You happen to be just a leader. And now close your eyes. Deep breath. And let these 3 habits lock in. Because you are going to notice the first time you greet somebody and you don't shake hands, this new habit becomes locked in as a new way of being. In coordination with the CDC guidelines, you have become a leader. one can take this from you. Your health is more important than what anybody thinks, right? Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to return to full awareness. You will notice on the count of 5 as I do that your eyes are a little teary, and just stay for a little bit of a moment with this. The idea that when you leave this little session, you feel a sense of empowerment, that you're doing what you can do during this crisis. And you're also managing your mind. You are knowing that you are doing what you can do. And that gives you a sense of confidence. So 1, 2, getting a sense of your room. 3, feeling wonderful, like you've had a great rest. 4 and 5. And now, wide open eyes. Noticing your eyes are probably a little teary. Take a deep breath, kind of shake it out, and know that even though you can't change the fact of the virus, it's a fact, there are things that you can do and will do to improve your chances, which were, by the way, already great to get through this without any problems. But you're even improving that well beyond statistical probability because you are taking control of you. And it's an important side benefit that you are also taking control of your emotions, living life a day at a time, putting worry in its place, and having an increasing sense of peace and personal empowerment because you are doing what you can do. I hope you enjoyed this little video meditation. If you did, I invite you to share with other people. The more people that follow these CDC guidelines, as discussed in this little video, and other things that will come down from them, the safer we will all be, individually and as a community.